One day, when you're 37, you'll wake up and realize you've been living someone else's life for 7 years. Not in a big way, not all at once. Just take your time and make one comfortable choice at a time. Before you know it, nothing will be yours anymore. You don't own your time. Your identity isn't yours. You even feel like your thoughts are borrowed. 73% of people in their late 30s say they feel stuck because of decisions they made in their early 30s that seemed safe at the time. I'll show you the secret way to turn your 30s into a prison in a minute, and more importantly, the way out that most people never see. This is what's going on. Your 30s aren't just another 10 years. They're the years when you start to build invisible walls around your life. And by the time you see them, you've already built the cage. I'm going to show you 7 principles that sound simple but are much deeper than most self help material. These aren't tricks to get more done. This is what life is really like when no one is looking. And principle number 4 is the one that no one wants to admit, because once you see it, you can't unsee what you've been doing to yourself. First, let's talk about why time seems to go by faster in your 30s. Not in a figurative way, going away for real. You remember when you were 25 and a year seemed like a long time. What now? January comes and goes in the blink of an eye. This is what's really going on. Your brain stops making new memories when you stop doing new things. Routine doesn't just make time go by faster, it takes away time. Your brain doesn't remember every Tuesday. That is the same as the last one. That's not how to manage your time. That's how memories are made. And when you don't make memories, your life starts to feel like a time lapse video where you're standing still while everything else ages around you. Think about this. It's Wednesday morning and you're in your car. The same way to work, same podcast, order the same coffee. Your brain is on autopilot, so it's not taking notes. You get there and don't remember the trip. That's not being forgetful. That's your life being erased in real time. The prison is made up of days that are all the same. Here's the plan. Every week, do something new. Not very big. A new way home. A different place for lunch. Put on something strange. Call someone you haven't talked to in a long time. Your brain wakes up. Time gets longer. One new thing each week gives you 52 memory anchors every year instead of one blurry year. But there's something even worse than being blind all the time, and it has to do with how you see yourself. Your sense of self should change over time. It starts to harden in your 30s. You make up stories for yourself. I don't like mornings. I don't handle money well. I just don't like to travel. I don't speak in front of people. These aren't traits of your personality. You made these choices once and never thought about them again. You can't see the prison here because you're both the guard and the prisoner. You set your own limits. This is how the mind works. Every time you say, I'm just not that person, you're setting a rule for how your mind works, and your brain will follow rules, especially the ones you give it. A lot of people don't know that they're dressing up as a version of themselves from 5 years ago. You've changed jobs, cities, and relationships, but you're still using the same identity software. Think about what happened on Sunday night. That feeling of dread, it's not Monday. It's about the difference between who you are and who you act like all week. It's almost too easy to do this. Write down 3 things you say about yourself that you don't want to be. Then ask, is this the truth or is it just something I know? Test number 1. Only one. Read 10 pages tonight if you don't think you're a reader. The identity doesn't change all at once. When you give yourself one piece of evidence goes against the old story, it changes. Now let me show you how comfort is slowly ruining your future. Every choice you make that makes you feel good today has a hidden cost. I call it debt of comfort. You stay in the job, which is fine because looking for a new one is tiring. You order delivery because you don't want to cook. You don't have the hard talk because you don't like conflict. Every choice seems like nothing, but comfort debt adds up. People miss the hard part. Every time you choose comfort over challenge, you don't just stay the same. You become weaker. You can't handle pain as well. Things that seemed hard but doable last year now seem impossible. You aren't lazy, you're only making yourself weak. Imagine yourself at 34 years old, looking at your phone at 11 p.m. You were going to work on the side project. You were going to the gym. You wanted to get in touch about that chance. You chose easy instead, and easy picked you back. You'll feel behind tomorrow. The prison of your 30s is made up of 1,000 little comfort choices that seem like self care, but are really hurting you. The change: do the hard thing first every day. Not everything, only one. The call you don't want to take. The email that makes you feel anxious. The 20-minute workout that you don't want to do. You're not getting better at being disciplined. You're getting better at dealing with discomfort, which is the only real currency for change. But even if you learn how to deal with discomfort, there's one mistake in a relationship that will trap you faster than anything else. Next, your social capital is either growing or shrinking. There isn't a neutral. You made friends by accident in your 20s. Being close by did the trick. College, first jobs, and random apartments. Your 30s, friendship takes work, and most people stop doing it. You only talk to 5 people. You don't go to the events. You don't reach out. And over time, your network becomes a closed loop. Here's the secret: weak ties are better than close friends when it comes to getting ideas, opportunities, and new points of view. That person you saw once at a conference, the coworker you liked but didn't talk to anymore, the neighbor you say hello to but don't talk to. Those weak ties live in a different world than you do. They have different facts, different chances, different ways to look at problems. When all of your friends are people who think just like you, your 30s can feel like a prison. The echo chamber isn't only on the internet, it's your whole life. You think you're not making as many friends because you're busy. You're busy because you stopped putting money into relationships that could lead to new opportunities. The move is easy, but not many people will do it. Send one message to reconnect every week, not making connections, just real interest. I was thinking about the talk we had 2 years ago about X. What are you doing right now? Most people won't answer, some will. And one of those talks will change the course of your life in a way you can't see coming. This is the principle that no one talks about, and it's probably already making your life worse. You act like time is the most important thing in your life, but energy is more important. The real problem is that you are two different people in the morning and at night. Morning, you have willpower, clear thinking, and hope. Evening, you are tired, on edge, and looking for a way out. And at night, you make promises that you have to keep in the morning. You will start the diet tomorrow. You'll get up early and work on the project. You will finally be able to talk. But when tomorrow comes, you'll have to fight against the inertia you made the night before. There isn't a problem with discipline. This is a problem with how energy is used. Think back to last Tuesday. What did you do during the hours when you had the most energy? Email, get togethers, are you scrolling? You put all of your energy into other people's needs and none of it into your own life. That is the jail. You lose your 30s because you keep wasting your best hours on things that don't add up. The move: keep your first 2 hours safe, not for work, for the thing that really matters for your future, the education, the structure, the making. You don't need more time. Stop giving your best to things that won't remember you. Let's talk about your job, because this is where most people get stuck without even knowing it. Your job isn't a ladder, it's a play area. In your early 30s, it's better to learn than to earn, but everyone else does the opposite. They look for the best pay and end up in golden handcuffs by the time they're 35, making good money doing work that's slowly killing them. In fact, the skills you learn in your 30s will affect your choices in your 40s and 50s. You're not building equity if you spend these years doing the same things you already know how to do. You are renting out your own potential. The adjacent possible is everything you could do next. That is only one step away from what you are doing now. A lot of people don't even look at it. Instead of seeing their job title as a starting point, they see it as who they are. Imagine a 32-year-old who is good at managing projects. The adjacent possible isn't just a senior project manager, it's a strategy for products, how things work, advising, beginning something. But they never try new things because the path they are on feels safe. They can't move on by 38, not because they're bad, because they only know one thing. The plan is to learn one new hard skill every year, not a hobby. Something that makes you feel uneasy and opens up new possibilities: code, speaking in front of people, sales, money. You're not making a resume, you're making choices. And speaking of choices, let's talk about the money trap that looks like success. If you spend money on a lifestyle that needs more money right away, money doesn't buy freedom. That's not rich. That's a treadmill that goes faster. Most people in their 30s get raises and then spend more money to keep up with their new income. A bigger apartment, better car, habits that cost more. They think they're winning, but they're really just making things worse for themselves. Here's a number that no one keeps track of: your real hourly rate. Get your pay. Take away the cost of taxes, commuting, work clothes, therapy you need because of work stress, and the extra things you buy because you're too tired to cook. The total number of hours you work, including your commute, evening emails, and Sunday dread, should be divided by this. You probably don't know that your real hourly rate is half of what you think it is. You realize you're selling hours of your life for less than you thought to buy things you don't need to impress people you don't like, so you can keep doing work that doesn't make you happy. The move isn't about being minimalistic, it's about being intentional. Ask yourself this before you raise your fixed costs. Does this give me more time, energy, or freedom? Or does it give me another thing to do? In your 30s, you either become financially free or dependent on others. People choose to be dependent most of the time without knowing it. Now, here's the last rule. It's the one that stops all the regret that comes with each year. You don't make decisions about your life, you experiment with it. A lot of people think of their 30s as a time when they have to make permanent choices. This work, this place, this status of being in a relationship, this identity. They freeze because the choices seem permanent. They don't try things because they're afraid they won't work out. But that's not how things change. Running small tests makes things change. Experiments every month. You don't leave your job to start a business. You build something on the side for 3 months and see what happens. You don't move to a different city. You first spend a month there. You don't change everything about your life. You test one thing at a time. The prison is where you stay until you know for sure what to do. Before you do something, you can't be sure. It comes after. You think you need to know that it will work before you start. You really need to start to see if it will work. The plan is to do one life experiment every month, little, particular, bound by time. Get up at 5 in the morning for 30 days, a month without drinking. Get in touch with one new person every week. Keep an eye on what happens. Look back at the end. You can learn something from most experiments. Some will change everything, but you'll never know which is which until you try them. And here's something no one tells you. You regret things every year because you don't test anything for months. Let's put this all together. When your routine makes you forget about time, when you mistake your old identity for a permanent truth, when you choose comfort until discomfort becomes impossible, when your social world shrinks to an echo chamber, when you give your best energy to other people's priorities, when you confuse your job title with your potential, when you inflate your lifestyle faster than your freedom, and when you wait for certainty instead of running experiments, your 30s feel like a prison. Those aren't eight different problems, they're all one problem. You're living on autopilot in the decade that will decide everything. This is what you need to do right now. Choose one rule, only one, the one that hurt the most, and try it out today. Not today, now. Send one message to reconnect. Start with the hardest thing. Question one identity story. Do one little test. Your 30s don't have to be a prison, but they will be if you keep putting off making changes. Someday is how you end up in your 30s. Today is your way out.